Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into Lemonade, an AI-native company that's taking on one of the biggest, oldest industries in the world, insurance. This is really a story about technology versus tradition.
So that number you see right there, $6 trillion. That's how much the world spends on insurance every single year. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's bigger than the markets for cars, cloud computing, and even global defense combined. It's an absolutely colossal prize. And that really gets to the heart of the matter. This is a story about a modern-day David taking on a whole field of Goliaths. So, okay, let's dive into this. To really get the opportunity here, you first have to understand the battlefield itself and the giants who've been ruling it for, well, centuries.
And while that prize is just enormous, the industry giants are actually weighed down by their own history. Their massive size, which was once their greatest advantage, is starting to become a real burden.
You know, the things that used to be their biggest assets, we're talking huge networks of agents, old, clunky computer systems, have now become liabilities. In today's world of apps and AI, these legacy systems are kind of like black holes, just sucking up time and money that they could be using to innovate. And this is exactly where the challenger, Lemonade, steps onto the field. And they have a plan that is radically simple. The entire company was basically designed around this one really powerful idea, that an insurer built from the ground up today, with artificial intelligence at its very core, could figure out risk and costs in a way that the old guard just never, ever could.
But here's the thing. Could a new model like this actually work in the real world? Well, the first couple of years of public data answered the biggest questions that the skeptics had.
So first up was the big question about cash burn. I mean, just look at this. In only 2 years, the company went from burning through over $60 million a quarter to actually generating almost $50 million. That's a huge fundamental shift in the business. And second, could they actually, handle the business of insurance? Well, a massive 21-point drop in their loss ratio from a leaky 94% all the way down to a solid 73% pretty much proved they could.
You see, mastering this loss ratio is really the art and science of insurance. And these results showed that their AI model wasn't just working, it was learning, and man, it was learning fast. But this data-first approach also unlocked another, maybe even more powerful advantage.
The key to Lemonade's whole model isn't just about managing risk better. It's about this powerful geometric advantage that's built right into their business.
So this slide shows a concept the CEO calls the angle raise. I want you to just picture two lines on a graph. One is revenue, the other is costs. Now, for most companies, those two lines pretty much rise together. But look here. The revenue line is angling up sharply, while the cost line is staying flat or even going down. Revenue shot up nearly 50% in 2 years as their operating costs actually decreased.
He had a great way of describing it. He said it's like growing into a fixed cost backpack. As the business gets bigger and bigger, the costs don't. And that makes every single bit of new growth more and more profitable. So now you've got this incredibly powerful economic engine. Where do you point it? Well, you point it at the single biggest prize in the entire insurance world, the auto market. And look, it's a completely fair question. How on earth do you take on competitors that are 500 times bigger than you? The answer, well, it lies in seeing the world, and specifically its drivers, with way more precision.
You see, traditional insurers price you based on proxies. They're basically using these crude, low-resolution cardboard cutouts of who you might be. They look at your age, your gender, your zip code, but they don't actually know how you drive.
Lemonade, though, does something totally different. They use telematics to create this high-definition 8K picture of your actual driving habits. It's really the difference between guessing and knowing.
And this technology, which gathers real-time driving data right from your phone, is the absolute key. It lets Lemonade price risk with a level of precision that actually turns the giant's massive scale into a weakness. So let's make this super clear. Imagine two drivers, Jack and Jill. With the old models, a safe driver like Jack and a distracted driver like Jill pay pretty much the same price. But Lemonade can actually see the difference. They can give Jack a huge discount, which means they can win over the 2/3 of the market who are actually good, safe drivers. It's a game changer.
So, this whole tech advantage isn't just a cool feature, it's the very foundation of their strategy. A really clear, 5-step plan designed to systematically take on the market leaders. And the logic here is just simple and powerful. Better tech lets you have better pricing. Better pricing attracts the best customers. And getting all the best customers is what fuels your growth and eventually your profit. It just creates this amazing virtuous cycle.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's seeing how a technology-first approach can literally dismantle the advantages that these centuries-old companies have built up. On this new battlefield, it's not about being bigger anymore. It's about being smarter.
And really, this whole story isn't just about insurance. It's a potential blueprint for how AI is poised to reshape entire industries, one by one. Which leaves us with one final, pretty important question to think about.